Well, Canadian Olympic bobsledder Cynthia Appiah is used to the spotlight as an athlete, but will soon experience another kind of fame. Cynthia, you are about to appear on Jeopardy. I guess you already have appeared on Jeopardy, but it will air soon. Thanks for taking time for us this morning. And if we can just start with what kind of a dream come true this is for you.
Yeah, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. And it's honestly been a dream come true. This is a show that my family and I have watched for as long as I can remember. I can't remember the first time we started watching it, but it goes back over 30 years watching this show together. So to get onto it has literally been a dream come true. And I know not a lot of people get to say that. And I've got to do it twice, once going to the Olympics and now again being on my favorite show of all time.
And talk about the process for getting on the show. This has literally been years.
This has been years. I have tried to get on the show for over 6-7 years now. There's an online quiz that you do, and you don't know how well you've scored until you get an email saying, hey, you've passed on to the next round. So for 6-7 years, I just kept on submitting away, hoping I'd get an email, and I never got anything. So this year, I almost didn't even apply, and it wasn't until my sister kind of egged me on that I should try and give it another go. And thankfully I did, and I listened to her, and here we are now.
Now, this is obviously not your episode, and we can't tell anyone what happened, but give us a sense of how nervous were you? I mean, you're used to performing at an extremely high level where sort of, handling your nerves counts. How nervous were you for this?
I was a little nervous, but I don't think as nervous as my fellow competitors. And I used the fact that I compete in essentially a high stakes sport year in and year out as a bit of, part of my toolkit of how to get over the nerves of being on the show. I'm used to being in front of the camera with my sport. And I think some of the competitors that I was with on the show kind of alluded to that, as well as maybe being a little bit of a safety net, that I didn't have to worry about the lights and the cameras being in my eyes. I could just focus on the task at hand.
Right. Talk about your training. I mean, obviously there's World Cups and you're getting ready for the Olympics. Did this affect your training? Was it an issue of having to sort of time this out?
It did affect a bit of my training, but I'm a competitor, so I knew how to schedule it to have the least amount of impact on my training. I left in the middle of the week, thankfully on a day where I had a little bit of a lighter load in terms of my workout. I did miss out on one day, but I was able to work with my coaches who were super supportive of me being able to go down to LA to film this, and then was right back to training the next day once I flew back to Calgary.
Yeah, and this is a massive year for you. You should have added that. You train right here in Calgary, but this is a massive year for you. Olympics coming up next year. How are preparations going for you?
Preparations are going great. Right now I'm in Whistler. We're getting ready for the last bit of training before we head over to Italy to test out on that Olympic track. Financially, we haven't been in the best of shape, but that's where I'm working together with a lot of people to hopefully raise enough funds to get to the Olympics. Part of that was to be on Jeopardy, to try and make some money to really fulfill this Olympic dream of mine. I really do think I have what it takes to win a medal, and I know a lot of people will be like, well, everyone says that, but no, genuinely, I do think I do. With the funding losses that we have, I still managed to finish 4th at World Champs, which is no small feat in and of itself. And so, this is where we're at. I've got a GoFundMe going on, so if anyone is, generous enough to want to help me bring medals back to Canada, they're more than welcome to.
Yeah, and now we've got 2 reasons to cheer you on. One, on I think it's October 28th, your episode is airing, and then of course for your World Cup and the Olympics coming up next year. Cynthia, thanks so much for taking time for us. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to watching the episode. That is Canadian Olympic bobsledder Cynthia Appiah, and again, that episode airs Tuesday, October 28th.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.